guys, Cliff here. Welcome back to the channel. Start of a new build. Look what I got. Plans. An Autogyro. The Mantis. Designed by our good friend and UK expert Richard Harris. And I'm going to build one. It's very straightforward. Just been reading the RC model forums. There's quite a few pages on it, 30 odd pages. I've got through to page 15 and I've thought, no, I've got to go and start something. So the plans are available and I'll link to them in the description. It's a 10-year-old plan now, but superb. So what I'm going to do is to change things as I go along. I'm not going to use all 6mm depth one. Mainly because the only depth one I've got is the paper covered stuff, and you know, it was okay using it, but I'm going to build like the rudder and the fin. The rudder and fin are here, 6mm depth one. The tailplane's also 6mm depth one. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to photocopy the fin and rudder, because I'm going to, I just love making stuff out of balsa wood. So I'm going to use balsa, and I mean, it's Depron for lightweight. I'm not going to use solid balsa. I'm going to use a framework, and I'm just thinking it's such a lovely sort of outer shape. I'm just thinking I might do it in laminations. I'm going to photocopy this section. I'm going to cut out these shapes in 6mm paperback Depron foam sheets to make the outer shape around. So that's where I'm at. Brand new model, just ready to start. Very exciting, and by all accounts quite a nice easy model to fly. We do like a new project, don't we, in this house. Going to do a bit of photocopying. Right, the plan tells you to cut the rudder out of 6mm Depron. This is paper covered. Probably do the job, but I want to make it out of balsa wood, and I want it laminated. So I'm going to put instead of putting the laminations around the outside of this, cutting it smaller to allow for the laminations. It's easier just to keep the other half and put the laminations around the inside. So I'm just going to boil a kettle of water to start steaming it. This is how I do it. I know you can use different things, but to make balsa bend, but I just heat it up, and with a bit of luck it won't break. Easing it around. Into the correct shape, well, roughly the correct shape. I'm just gonna, while it's still pliable, hopefully, got a crease there, but okay, got a bit of a crease there, but I can fill that with glue. Let me bend it a little bit more around the edges. Perhaps I didn't steam it enough. This is what I've always done anyway. Another little trick, you can make the balsa wood wet before you start to steam it, and it sort of penetrates it a little bit better. It's not too bad. Done worse, but you'll be amazed how unperfect it can be to get a good result. This one's going to be even tighter because it's a smaller diameter on the inside, so to make sure it's really pliable to get in there. So that will go around there, that will go in there. Yeah, it will go there. So there we go. So all I need to do now is to cut a piece of wood to go in here on that line, and that will act as my hinge post, and a couple of braces and a piece of wood at the bottom for the horn position. Okay, so now I've finished steaming. I'm going to shut the workshop window because it is about -2 and it's blowing in. Okay, next morning we're back on the board as we're going out in a minute to buy some spruce or something equivalent for the mast, and well, the mast really, and the leading edges of the rotor blades. Either 6mm square for the rotor blades or 13 by 6 for the mast boom or thereabouts. I've read through the RC groups build on the Mantis. Lots of interesting things on there. No one's done a built up one that I can see, but I've done a built up one because I love the look of built up, and I'm thinking because it's built up I will cover it in a clear fabric or clear film. It's going to look amazing. Right, this probably is stuck here and there, so look. Nope, that's fine. I love it when you first take it off. So not too bad. Feels pretty light. Yeah, there's not much to it. Doesn't have to be perfect because I'll sand it on there. Just try and get it upright. Oh, I just love laminations. They're so strong. They look so good. Right, now I'm going to make the fin. The fin has a boom support, as it's called here, which is actually 1/4 inch balsa. And the reason that's there is because the fin is made out of Depron as well. I should be making mine out of balsa. It's exactly the same as that, built up. But the reason this is here is to support the top and bottom boom. I've made up a little kit of parts here, so we're ready to put that together. Okay, let's get gluing. Yeah. One in there. Okay, that's the start. I've got this little assembly here. That one there's just a spacer. And then after it's dry, I shall cut out this leading edge section so as I can slide the tailplane in. The time is taken in cutting the bits out. Get them as accurate as you can, and then the fun part is putting it all together like this. So we'll let that set up and come back to it in a little while and we'll see what we got. This is the tailplane. It's got a slot here to slot in the front of that, and I've marked this off at 4 centimeters, which is about there, maybe slightly further down, about there. Let's keep it nice and tight, and that completes the tailplane. No elevators on an Autogyro. They can be, but not on this one. When that's dry, I'll take it off, give it a quick cut and sand into the required shapes. On the end here, for instance, I'll just saw down through there, round it all up. Same with the fin. I'll round the fin all up, cut that, and that'll be the tail feathers done. Right, we lift it gently off of the, look at that, there we go. There. Lots to cut out. I think basically I've got to spend half an hour drawing all this up and cutting it out. what I'm going to do is to photocopy it and stick it with glue stick to the required pieces of 1/8 ply and balsa. So I'll see you back in a good hour, I expect. Cheers guys. Okay, I've just been out to the shed and bent up the undercarriage legs, which are these two here, and that's just 3mm. That's a spare bit now. I've cut the booms, booms, and F5 and boom bits, that bit there. I couldn't get any 13mm, so I ended up getting two 6mm and gluing them together. So I've glued them together, and it makes for a stronger piece of wood anyway. So that's those bits. I've got these bits here. I'll cut these out as well. 1/8 ply, F1, F1As. There's bits here, triangle bits. Look, I've got a kit. Great. So you glue that to that. You glue that on there. Then you glue your triangular pieces, however they go, on there. You see where it's going, don't you? That bit there. Onto there. And then those bits go on top of there. These slots are for the servos near the head. So they glue on top of there, and you leave a gap down the middle for the mast, which goes like that. So I'll utilise that to get the gap right. So I'm going to glue all this together. I'm going to use, might not, well, no, I think I'll use wood glue on the wood, and I'll glue all that up, and then I'll epoxy and put that in there in a bed of epoxy, and then I'll wood glue on these bits. I've put together the fuselage and the boom is fitted, so that's been epoxied, so we'll just pop that off now. As you can see, I put a square there in the corner to make sure it's up 90. Coming on, of course, then the fin, that will fit somewhere like that. Yeah, exactly there. In fact, that'll fit on there. Not yet though. And the other thing I've done is move the weights out. Oh, I've got to glue that angle in there now. But the other thing I've done is put together the undercarriage assembly. That's this. So now that will actually fit. Let's offer it up, shall we? That'll actually go on there, and I'll clean the epoxy off of it, and into the back of the boom, down and in. I won't push it in yet because I want to clean the epoxy off. That will go into there. Hey, look at that. Can you see it? That's cool. I'm going to try to put these on both sides at once. Hopefully I can set it up so they don't sort of slide about. This is 15-minute epoxy, so I'll have a little bit of time to work. In fact, I think I'll put it on the other side before I put it on. That goes just there. Give it a little bedding in. Oh, forgot the other side. It's got epoxy on it. That's why you do one side at a time. Okay, see you back shortly. Alright, things are hotting up, guys. I've just roughly sanded the leading edge of this fin so I can slip the tail plane in, because I want to do a sort of a mock-up, see how it's looking. that's going to be, hopefully, there we go, good sliding fit on that. That looks fantastic, doesn't it? So the other thing I've done is sanded all around, made sure my servos fit in here, drilled the holes for the wires to come through, and sanded the frame up. Now the epoxy has dried, so this will go on here like this, slide all the way down, and then that groove will pick up with the groove in the back, and like that. That's the front, and then that will glue, let's move me cocoa, that will glue on there like that. Then I get another top boom which goes up into here, and then there's a pair of gussets go either side, which I've already cut, so that's looking like an Autogyro. The motor fits up here and the prop spins here. Just had an idea, actually I could sort of ease it in with the vise, couldn't I? Make sure it's fully in. Well, I'm going to do a little bit more before I close this video up. But it's really interesting, isn't it? It's a different build. Richard Harris sent me the plans down, and I'm going to build it, you see. So it looks like just looking at the plan, it looks like a really nice little Autogyro to fly, and it's a pusher. I haven't got a push Autogyro, so that's what I'm doing it for, really. Before I glue the fin in, I want to hinge the rudder while I can get to it easily and get the slots in it. So I'll do that next and hinge the rudder, and then I can glue the fin on and get on with the rest of it. So that will be in part 2. I've got the front floor to make and little twiddly bits here and there, but yeah, not bad, not bad. It's really coming together really quickly. So thanks for watching. Take a look at part 2 when it goes up. In the meanwhile, hit that subscribe button, and if you want to take a look at the join button, that's also much appreciated. See you in part 2, guys. Cheers.